Interior to give a statement. Mr. Speaker, I've had members asking me, shouting that I mentioned a member, Governor Simba Arati has been mentioned in this assembly, and he is not a member of this assembly. And the one member here who mentioned this issue and he has been working with this assembly. There are honorable members who wants to take us for granted. We are MPs that they want to impeach governor. We dare you. Bring it on. We will deal with you. Mr. Speaker, I proceed by saying I am willing with your time. Mr. Speaker, the GSU who are in the stadium, Mr. Speaker, to block the governor from entering his office, Mr. Speaker, is not right. Mr. Speaker, we had a honorable member, IMP of this county, by the name of Honorable Simba speaking, Mr. Speaker, on social media that and posted himself on these social medias that on Monday we will have security officers, different security officers, and Mr. Speaker, it came to pass. Give him time. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to be informed about the blood.
Mr. Speaker, first and foremost, I'll want to inform this House, through you, Mr. Speaker, that there are functions after devolution that were left in the national government and functions that were left for the county government. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Interior is under the national government, and sometimes they are wise enough to understand how to run their ministry very well and ensure the places where we have security issues and the places we don't have security issues. So once I think the reason as to why we have the security people in Kisii, there must be something behind it, Mr. Speaker. And because we are not the DCI, we are not involved in terms of security, we just sit down and relax and wait for them to do the investigations and find the answers, and if there are any security issues, they make the arrest, they bring peace and order in Kisii County. Mr. Speaker, I want to bring to the attention of this House that we really have a problem of security in Kisii County, even as the honorable members are trying to run away from it. Not long ago in this House, we spoke about our security issues. We spoke about people leading a gang of criminals, Mr. Speaker, whereby one of the honorable members in this House said, Wari is leading a gang of criminals, Mr. Speaker. It isn't the answer, Mr. Speaker. And we should not be worried because these security people could be here investigating Wari and the gang of criminals that she is leading, Mr. Speaker. Because it is there, it was said in this House, Mr. Speaker. So therefore, Mr. Speaker, I support that it is good that we have our security people so that we bring Kisii back to order. Mr. Speaker, I still have my 2 minutes, Mr. Speaker, because I told you my stopwatch is on. Mr. Speaker, we have had issues in Kisii County that I have not seen any honorable member raise here. Like the issue of one of the directors, Director Arege. He was attacked in his house in front of his wife. His wife was mishandled in his presence by goons, Mr. Speaker. It was reported, yes. We have not spoken about it here, Mr. Speaker, but these cases are out here.
This issue emanated from the stadium. So I see a lot of justification as to why the police decided now to go to the stadium, because that was the source of all this. I want to finish by saying this, Mr. Speaker. As an honorable member, my role is beyond the police, and nobody here has a right to demand the reason why police came to Kisii County. This is my reason, Mr. Speaker. As a devolution unit, Mr. Speaker, our roles are cut, and national security is not part of our roles. We have no mandate to direct the police where they need to protect, where they need to go to. So I think this is an infringement of the national government role. let's focus on our role as the county government. Let's do our core duties as the county government. And if police decide to do whatever they decide to do, let's give them the time to do their work. And let me finish my point, Mr. Speaker.
1 second.
Yes, one second is so little.
Continue. 1 second. Continue.
So my point is, Speaker, let the member of the county assembly focus on their core duties. That is oversight of the executive, the county executive. They are not supposed to oversight the national government. Let's focus on legislation.
Yes, Honorable Mandeli.
We need a total discussion. We need a total conversation, Mr. Speaker. I urge you, Mr. Speaker, under your powers, before we spill all the waters in this house. We need your powers as a speaker to bring the house in order. Meanwhile, when I was seated here, Mr. Speaker, my point number 2 has been on action. I've seen some members raising the hands 20 to 25 times without being given time to speak. That's point number 2, which I said the house is divided. Yes. Point number 1 has already been seen by even everybody outside there. Yes, you are all over. I ask you, Mr. Speaker, this is not a small matter to have on. People are laughing here and there, thinking that we are in a memory of going for a wedding, or we are doing something good. Mr. Speaker, I'm not accusing anybody, Mr. Speaker. Let me lay my point like this. When we have GSU in our county, we don't take it for granted. There is a big issue. There is a light in the tunnel which is coming. That's why I'm watching you, Mr. Speaker. We sit down as the people, we see the problem, and we deliberate it. Secondly, Mr. Speaker.
The GSU officers raided the governor's office and ransacked it without due regard to inform him of the intention, nor did they have a such warrant to that effect. This was an act of impunity which goes contrary to the Constitution of Kenya 2010. It begs the question, why would the government send truckloads of GSU officers from Nairobi to harass the governor and his officers instead of dispatching them to banditry prone areas like Northeastern and Baringo? This marks of ill intention aimed at derailing the governor and the county government of Kisii from the course of normal operations.
As women, we normally fear GSU officers, and we normally know when these operations happen, what kind of activities are carried in that community. So as women, we are here calling our leaders, especially our MCs in Kisii County, to fear God so that we can serve this county. And now we ask that the national government, Professor Kindiki, to do investigation so that our women can be safe. We know that if we are going to allow this kind of intimidation to proceed on, mostly women, we are the people who suffer. And as a leader who represent women in this county, I condemn this strongly with all my body organs. Thank you.